Hey, my name is Ben Fraser. I'm the founder of Ready.Set.Van. We're a East Coast-based van conversion company based here in Trenton, New Jersey. And behind me I have our newest van that I want to give you a tour of today. It is a beautiful home on the inside with a built-in shower and a bunch of different things. So let's go check it out. So this van is built on a Promaster 3500 chassis. We usually build it on a 2500 chassis. It just happened to be what the owner got. It is a 159 high roof standard length, so it's not the extended van, just a standard length van. And we went with a set of KO2 tires on Ultra rims. They are awesome if you're ever going to take the van off the road or in the snow or anything like that. Kind of a necessary upgrade if you're going to leave the pavement for sure. And up top we have the Fiamma F80 awning. It's just a manual crank awning. It's not the electric awning. We much prefer the manual awning just because it's dead reliable. Nothing can go wrong with it. It cranks out to about 10 or 12 feet. It's really great just for opening up your living space. It also can help keep a little rain off your slider door if you're trying to get some fresh air on a day where it's raining lightly, so that's sort of a nice thing also. We have the C.R. Lawrence window in our slider. This window awnings out a little bit, and it also just looks great. It has that kind of OEM appearance, which we love. This owner decided not to put any running boards in. I would say at this point, most of our clients do put running boards because it is a bit of a step up into the van. He chose not to just because he's planning on taking this on trails and kind of some light off-roading. He doesn't want to worry about catching it on rocks or stumps or anything like that. Let's take a look inside. So the owner of this van decided to go with all walnut wood accents on the interior. We commonly also do birch wood accents, and we can do other options as well. Behind our walls, we've got thin-slit insulation. It ranges from about an R5 to about an R15. That really just depends on how many layers we can get in there. The walls and the cabinets themselves are built with an architectural grade light plywood. This is a very special plywood that we get. It's a little tricky to find and it's quite expensive, but it weighs about 40% less than pretty much any other wood you can find. It has a very high grade architectural veneer on the outside and then low density plies on the inside. So it's very strong, but also very light, and saves literally hundreds of pounds off of each build that we do. So really happy with that product. All right, a couple things on the outside by the slider I want to show you. We've got this little pop-out table right here. Our goal was to have a little table that if you had something in your hands, like a plate of food or a drink or something, you could just easily pop it out with one hand, put whatever the thing is that you want to put down and rest it on there. It locks out with magnets, so it's real sturdy, and when you want to put it back inside, just give it a tap, and it just locks in. We've also got an additional outlet right down here. That's just really handy. It's nice to have that outlet for laptops, for phones, for whatever. It does have USB outlets in it also. Of course, you have to have your inverter on, but that's fine. Let's head inside and I'll show you the kitchen. So there's a lot of little details in this van that we decided to kind of take another look at and see if we could figure out a better way of doing things. Most people in their builds use these sort of like ratcheting hardware to support their countertop extensions. I kind of hate that hardware. It's loud and ratchety, and it also kind of rattles when you drive, which is just like a kind of a major no-no for me. So we spent a little time trying to figure out how to kind of make that a little bit better, and came up with this, what I think is a very elegant, simple solution. Basically, we have a piano hinge along here. The extension comes up, and then we have a heavy-duty slide with a little 3D printed handle on the end of it. And that heavy-duty slide is rated for several hundred pounds, so it creates a very stable work surface. It's very quiet, very slim. The whole thing folds back down, stays down with a magnet embedded in the cabinet. and we're just really pleased with how that came out overall. All right, and so moving down our solid walnut butcher block countertop, we've got our sink with grain matched cutting board built into it. You'll see here actually that the cutting board is actually, when I say grain matched, that just means that the grain of the wood continues through basically everything. And we do that by cutting this on our CNC machine. It just means that all of this was one part, it was all machined at once. And it just creates a nice visual effect, which is a small detail that would normally, might often get overlooked, but it's the little small details that make us happy. This sink, it's made by Ravati. We love this sink. It's a 15-inch sink. It's not particularly huge, but it is quite deep. We find it works great. It's a good, it's a good compromise for, when you're cooking on the road. You can kind of get everything you need done in it, but it's not taking up your whole counter. So we really like this sink a lot. Right here we've got our double induction cooktop. We've got tons of power on this van, so you could cook all day long and probably never run out of power. This is really beautiful. It's dropped into the countertop, so it's just flush mounted the whole way through, which is just, again, just one of those nice little details. We've got 3 of our 5 lighting zones here, a 110 outlet, the inverter remote, and the Webasto control for the heater, which we'll get into in a minute. Up top, built into our wall, we've got just a little spice rack here. It's always nice to have a little bit extra storage, try and take advantage of little spaces and cavities in the van. And it's cute. So in our kitchen unit, we have lots and lots of storage. Got a nice big drawer right here. Drawers all across the top. Got some items in there. Again, drawers all the way down. We have this very large cabinet, which you could put trash, large items that you need to store, all kinds of things can fit in there. It's very handy. We have our Dometic CRX80 fridge. It's a great fridge. We really like it. It's a compressor fridge, so it doesn't use much energy. It's attractive and functional, so it's really great. We got this little drawer down here. We found ourselves with this extra little space we didn't know what to do with, so make it into storage. Next to that is our Webasto outlet. I'll talk more about the Webasto in a second, but that's basically where the hot air comes out from the Webasto. And then lastly, we have this little hidden step drawer. So this is, these are 400-pound drawer slides, and they lock when it's fully extended. So this becomes a very solid platform for getting up into bed. So we've got a full-size bed in this build. It runs across the van. One of the nice things about the Promaster is it's wide enough that we can put the bed sideways without really any adjustments at all. In a Transit or a Sprinter, we'd have to put in some flares and kind of push the sides of the van out a little bit. Like I said, it's a full-size mattress. That means that anybody 5'11" or sometimes 6 feet can sleep quite comfortably. But if you're in that 6-foot range or a little bit taller, one option is there are some stiffeners that are behind here that help stiffen the sheet metal on the van. Those are designed to be removed if we're putting in a window or something like that, so they're not essential. And we can remove those and push these headboard and footboard basically all the way out to the skin of the van. And then we put some stiffeners of our own just to kind of bring that stiffness back to the sheet metal. That adds like 4 inches, something like that. We only recommend doing that if you really need that length, because it does you end up sacrificing insulation. So there is a downside to doing that. So with any platform bed build, you need to make sure that there's no chance of condensation building up on the underside of your mattress, where your mattress and the platform meet. The reason that happens typically is because people's garages are very cold, and the moisture in the rest of the van migrates through the mattress and meets that cold surface of the platform and condenses and collects there. And then you can have mold issues, which is nothing anybody wants. We combat that in a couple different ways. The first is we cut ventilation slots that are just throughout the platform under this mattress. So that creates a lot of ventilation right at the point of where the mattress and the platform meet. And then the main thing we do is we mount our Webasto unit right in the middle of the van. So instead of mounting it up front, which is where most people put it, we put it right in the center of the van. What that does is it blows the hot air out on this side of the van, and that hot air convects and gets drawn in under the garage in the back. So we actually draw the intake air on the Webasto from the back, blow the hot air out here. So it creates a convection through the whole van. Basically that means that your platform is going to stay warm, so you're not going to get condensation. Also, it means that your plumbing is going to stay warm, and anything else that's in your garage is going to stay warm. So behind our pillows we have padded headboard, and then we have a padded footboard down there. We usually wrap these in the same fabric as we upholster the cushions. It's just nice to have a nice kind of soft touch to that. And then over here we've got our overhead storage. These are nice big bins. They're great for clothing storage. You can put anything in them, but they work particularly well for clothing storage. They're sprung real tight, so they won't open while you're driving around, and your stuff will stay in there, but they'll stay shut. But we don't. The nice thing about that is it means we don't have to have additional hardware. We don't have to have latches you have to push and unlock and all that kind of stuff. And then one of the things I love about this van actually is looking at it from further away. When you look in through the back doors, it's just this beautiful accent wall on the shower surround. It's just kind of a stunning architectural element that I really like. Let me show you the shower. So one of the really important things for us when we were designing this van is we really wanted it to feel like a home. And the bathroom, we knew we wanted to have an interior shower. And the feel of this interior shower was a really important thing to us because you know, it doesn't matter how beautiful your home is, if you hate your bathroom, you're not going to love your home. And so our goal has always been, we want to build a beautiful home first, and then make sure that it's capable of going on an adventure. And so when we were tackling how we were going to build this shower, we spent a lot of time testing and working on different materials of how we're going to build the shower, because people do it a lot of different ways when they build their vans. One common way is to use this plastic material called FRP. It has like a kind of a texture to it, and when you touch it, it's not a nice. I don't particularly like it. I would never put it in my home, and so that's sort of the challenge for us. Was like if I would never install it in my home, then I don't want to put it in a van, and so. It took a lot of back and forth trying to figure out what we were going to do eventually. So our solution was to go with an acrylic interior. The nice thing about acrylic is if you heat it up, you can bend it. And so we built a jig to actually put this bend line right here in the shower surround. So this is one continuous piece here. It's never going to be an issue of leaks or anything getting through this here. All the pieces were cut using our CNC machine, so it's an incredibly tight fit. It's really solid and tight all the way around. And the thing that we love about the acrylic is that it has just this really nice like glass kind of feel to it. It's very, very smooth. It's like almost mirror-like actually when you look at it. It's just really nice. It's a nice bright white interior, something that I would be very happy to have in my home. Another little benefit about it is it takes suction cups really well. So there's just endless accessories, shelves, all kinds of things that you could put in here that easily would just stick right to the walls. We've got our shower head up here, right over here. We've got our shower mixer for hot and cold, and then we have this retractable Nautilus shower door, which is great. Works great. It's nice and simple. It's nice when you come across something that just is elegant and simple and functional, which that is. That works great. The owner decided to go with a Thetford cassette toilet. We can put just about any kind of toilet in here, but the cassette toilets are nice and simple, and that's what the owner decided to go with. Below that, we have the teak shower mats that we fabricated on our CNC machine. They are just really lovely. It's kind of a nice little touch that puts a smile on my face. It's just really nice to be in the shower in such a like a nice enclosure, while then also having your feet sort of grounded on a nice piece of wood. It's just a nice thing. Kind of makes you feel like you're in a spa or something like that. Underneath we have our stainless steel shower pan that we fabricated. It's great. It's very easy to clean. It'll last forever. So that's really great. But actually I want to show you my favorite part, which is the living space. This turned out much better than I had imagined. I was worried that when we were building this van, that with this big shower here, that the flow of the van would be just kind of disrupted by this big shower box. And actually, this living space, I just love it. So let's check it out. So one of my top concerns when we were designing this dinette area was I wanted to make sure it felt good, that the ergonomics were great for both the person sitting here, also the driver's seat, and then the passenger seat. And my experience with a lot of RV tables and a lot of different builds that I've seen is that typically the table is an afterthought, and it tends to be kind of flimsy, tends to have a leg that you're always banging your knee into, and those were things that I really didn't want to have, because for me, like if this was my van, I would be spending a lot of time here. I'd be spending time eating with whoever I'm traveling with. I would be working on my laptop here. I would just be hanging out here. And the feel of the table, just all of it, kind of is a big deal. So the first thing was we want to make sure that we didn't have a leg that would be sticking down, because you can imagine you're swinging your leg in, you keep banging into this, your drinks are spilling. It's just not nice. So what we decided to do was instead of having any kind of leg, we actually have a welded steel frame that is bolted directly to the van chassis. It comes up and there's a big arm that comes across underneath this table. So it is incredibly firm, which is awesome. And then we decided, since we had this really strong platform there, to just go ahead and carry over the same look from our kitchen and use the same walnut butcher block material for the table. So I'm just thrilled with the way this came out. It's just a really nice place to spend time, and that's really great. Of course, we have more storage everywhere. Below me, we've got a couple drawers here, another one down here, and then down under the platform, we have one more drawer. This platform makes it possible to level out the whole all the seating, because the ProMaster has that step up into the driver's area. So this platform brings everybody up onto the same level, and so we put a little storage under there as well. And of course, one of the really great things about this spot is this big window right next to me. So it opens up, it has several latching spots, and because it's an awning style window, in light rain, you can leave it open, the rain will just pour off of there. And I'll tell you, there's nothing better than being able to sit in a van in the summer when it's raining outside and have your windows open. I just absolutely love that. But you need an awning type window for it to be able to do that. Otherwise, you're going to get everything wet. This window also has a built-in bug screen, which is super handy. And then also a built-in blackout screen. So full of all kinds of features, which is really great. And then over here we have the LED switch for our LED light that's built into the overhead cabinet above. This is really great for when you're sitting here eating dinner, or really any time that you don't want to have these bright overhead lights on. These lights are fantastic for like task lighting and just general illumination, but at night sometimes you want to have something that's just a bit more of a vibe, and it's really great for that, especially when combined with the LED lights that are built into the headboards and footboards of the bed. You can really create just a nice kind of quiet atmosphere in here, which is really nice. Also, if you're here working or reading or doing whatever it is that you're doing and your partner wants to take a nap or sleep back there, this light, because of the shadow that gets cast by the shower surround behind me, you can have this light on and somebody can be sleeping in the back and they won't be disturbed by this at all. So that's a nice little bonus. And then one other thing, we have our hot water heater switch, which we mount up here. The reason we do that is because so a lot of times if you're driving down the road and your batteries are all charged up, it's a great time actually to make some hot water because you've got extra electricity energy available coming off the alternator, so you might as well use it. If you turn on your electric water heater while you're driving, basically you get hot water for free, which is awesome. So it's just a nice thing to do if you know you're driving in the morning and you're going to be camping in the afternoon. Flip that thing on and you'll have hot water when you get there. Also, the hot water tank itself will keep water hot for like 8 or 9 hours. It's kind of crazy. So it doesn't even matter if you aren't going to be using the hot water until much later in the day. Go ahead and hit it and it's just free hot water, which is awesome. The hot water tank is a Bosch 2.5 gallon unit. No, I'm sorry. The hot water tank is a Bosch 4-gallon unit. It's mounted in the back with the plumbing equipment. And of course, all this stuff runs off of our massive electrical system in this van, which we haven't even talked about yet. That's all in the garage, so let's go check it out. So welcome to the garage. I feel like the garage is often people's favorite part of the whole build because it's kind of where they get to imagine putting all of their stuff that they're going to take, their bikes, all the things that they're kind of planning on packing for their adventure. This garage is really large, so we can get a full-size bike right in here. If we had a smaller battery capacity, we could get another full-size bike in here. However, the battery bank is located back there, so it constricts it a little bit on this configuration, but normally we can get two bikes in here. We have some other built-in storage that is just flexible, can use it for whatever you want. We thought it'd be handy to have places to stick things. These work very nicely for some small camp chairs, things like that. And otherwise, it's just a big space to put all your things. We can also put in tie downs or all kinds of things. We can customize the space quite a lot for people. A common request is like a pull-out drawer slide, like a big shelf that comes all the way out, stuff like that. More than happy to help customize this area. On this side, we have all of our plumbing. So in the back is the 4-gallon Bosch water heater. Up front here is our 30-gallon water tank. You can see right here that we actually have it illuminated, so also you can kind of see in the sight glass there what your water level is. It's a nice, simple way to do it that can never break, which is nice. So no sensors, no anything like that. It's just literally just a visual guide. This is the water fill up here, so it's a gravity fill. Fills up the tank, and then off the back here we have a rear shower as well. So we have an exterior shower, same shower mixer and everything like that. And then in this compartment, we have valves and all the things necessary to dump and blow out your lines and winterize the whole plumbing system. So that's all built into this cabinet here. For the most part, you will never do anything in this cabinet except periodically check and see what your water level is. Behind here is all of our electrical components. Pretty much never need to go into that compartment. This actual van, this is our first version of this layout. It actually has the main disconnect switch is inside the cabinet. In future versions, the main disconnect switch is going to be over here. So if you want to turn your whole system off, you just pop your back door open, flip that switch, everything's turned off, and you're good to go. But we'll take a look inside, and I'll kind of give you a quick tour of all the components. Up top, we have our WeBoost. There's a gain antenna up on the roof, and then this basically repeats a cell signal inside the van at a boosted level. So it gives you a couple extra bars of cell service. It's especially useful, when you're in that situation where you have between 0 and 1 bar. It might actually be the difference between being able to load a web page and not loading a web page. So that's a nice thing to have. Beneath that, we have our solar charge controller. We actually have 2 solar charge controllers because we have 2 different arrays of solar panels on the roof. So we actually have a total of 510 watts of solar on the roof. We really tried to max out all the roof space that we had available. Right here is our AC breaker and DC fuse panel. Again, this is the first place you would go if there ever was an issue in the van. If you ever had a short or something broke, you check your fuses. And then right behind me here is the Victron MultiPlus 3000 inverter. This thing is a beast. It will deliver power for days. It's really fantastic. So that's what powers your air conditioner. That powers your cooktop. It powers your hot water heater, and it does it all effortlessly. It's really fantastic. It's really, kind of oversized for most of what you're going to be doing, but that's what you want. And then behind this wall, we have our 900 amp hour lithium battery bank. The batteries we use are made by a company called Highline. They're great because they have a heating element that's built into the battery itself. And if the batteries are frozen or below freezing, and you're trying to charge your batteries, most batteries won't allow you to charge in those conditions. These batteries will actually take that charging current that maybe is coming from your alternator or from your solar panels. It'll redirect that charging current to the heating element in the battery, heat up the battery until the battery is warm enough to accept a charge, and then allow it to charge, which is awesome. It works seamlessly. You wouldn't even know that it's going on, but it's just a beautiful solution to what amounts to be like a pretty annoying problem with lithium batteries in cold temperatures. So it's kind of a problem solved, and it's just something that you never have to think about, which is great. Thanks a lot for checking out our build. If you're interested in what we do, go over and check us out at Ready.Set.Van.com, or you can stop by our facility here in Trent, New Jersey if you're in the area. And if you like this video or you want to see more content that we're producing, go ahead and hit subscribe. And if there's anything particular that you want to see, put it in the comments below, and we'll see if we can make that for you. Thanks a lot.